Good morning, everyone. Here's your Mormon news update for November 11th, 2024. Today, we're going to go to Reddit first for a post that says, "It's been 12 years of this. Why don't they see how scary this is?" And then there's a screenshot of a text message that says, "Hi, Melissa. How are you guys doing? This is blank from the ward, and I noticed your family temple recommend has been expired. Would you like me to schedule one for you guys?" And then Melissa responded saying, "Please don't contact me. It's pretty scary you have my number." And then blank from the ward said, "When you decide to follow the Lord, your record and your information will be in the ward." And then Melissa said, "I just posted this on TikTok. Maybe this time you guys will respect that I asked to be left alone multiple times. Don't worry, I didn't share your number. I have more respect for you than you do for me." If you're not understanding what's going on here, for 12 years this person has been asked to be left alone by members of the church. And I don't know if they've moved or changed their phone number multiple times, but somehow they keep getting found by members of the church who track them down and send them text messages like this one. If this is happening to you and you're wondering why, after years, you're still being contacted by members, let's read through a document that might explain why this is happening. This information was publicly available in the past, but the church has since scrubbed it from their website, so I got it from the Wayback Machine. It starts out by saying, deciding which members to find. The criteria for marking a member as one needing to be found/visited should be defined by the bishop and his counselors. A custom field could be set up in MLS to track this list. However, these fields must be maintained manually. If used, a custom report can be set up to show all members or families that should be found/visited. A ward could be proactive and send a general mailing, such as a newsletter, to all the members on its records, say annually or quarterly, with return service requested. See below under Send a letter to the member's address as part of the return address. The next heading is documenting search efforts. While the results of search efforts may be passed from person to person by mouth, it may prove helpful during changes in leadership and other instances to have the search results documented and kept on file in the clerk's office. A form can be used for documenting the results of a search. The next heading is local efforts. To find members, visit the last known address. Talk with neighbors, a building supervisor, manager, or owner if known or available. Contact other family currently living at the member's last known address. Contact the new individual or family living there. Contact neighbors adjacent to the member's last known address, or use the telephone. Call the member's last known phone number. It may be a cell phone that they still have, or the member may have notified the phone company of their new number. Contact known relatives in the area. Contact the phone company information service or operator and ask for new phone listings in the area that may not have been published to online phone directories. Then it says within the ward, if the member was in the ward or area for some period of time, seek information from other ward members who may know the member. Via the postal service, send a letter to the member's address asking for their new address and expressing your concern for their welfare. In the United States, to find whether the member has given the United States Postal Service a forwarding address, add the words "return service requested" to the envelope. This instructs the USPS to not forward the mail, but return it to the sender with the forwarding address attached. Postal Service practices vary from country to country. Some countries prohibit the Postal Service from disclosing change of address information. They next suggest using websites. Here are some websites that might be useful for locating lost sheep, along with some comments about each. Note that these sites are not endorsed by the church, but other clerks have found them useful. Some of these sites may not be accessible from inside your meeting house firewall. Much of this information is specific to the United States, but may have application in other countries as well. Facebook is the most effective way to find someone. There may be many entries, but you can sometimes narrow it down by their friend list, i.e. known family members or friends. Be certain to try searching by the member's email address as well. If you don't have their email address, try finding it by using their address on melissadata.com below. Next is Spokeo. Spokeo is a paid site, but one of the most effective, and it's also easy to navigate. Search by name, address, username, or email address. Melissa Data Email Lookup is a free tool used to find any email addresses associated by looking up a physical address. Free registration is required. After you find the email address, use it to search both Facebook and Spokeo. Whitepages.com is great for finding people by their last known address. You can also search by phone number or even locate the contact information for the neighbors to ask them where the member may have moved. Zaba Search is a decent people finder. Most records display the date the data was collected, which can help you track a person from place to place. Many of the records also display a birth month and year. Birth dates can help you identify the correct individual you are seeking. To search for common names, add their age, city, and other details using their advanced search. Search their free public database directory for even more places to go for searching. There are some good links to government databases here. Free 411 is a United States phone directory service. IntegraScan is a paid service, but the free preliminary results include full addresses. CrimCheck offers over 1,000 state, county, city, and federal court websites where you can search free public records. Most search services are free. Ultimate White Pages congregates several search services on one page, although you must search each individually. It currently offers search on fastpeoplesearch.com, anywho.com, Infospace, Dogpile, whitepages.com, Yahoo, Whowhere, and Switchboard. When you search more than once, this service reuses the second browser window for the results. It also offers reverse searches on phone number and address. Results may be dated. Ancestry.com offers a U.S. public records index that compiles various public records from all 50 states in the United States from 1984 to the present. Entries must contain the following information: name, street or mailing address, telephone number, birth date, or birth year. Birth database is useful for searching for individuals based on other family members listed on their church membership record. Look at the names of sons and enter them in this database. Now compare the birth date given on his parents' iOS. This will narrow down your search when looking for a John Smith in your other popular search sites. This works well for older members who move out and go live with their children. Social Security Index enables you to search for members who have died using as little as a member's first name. PeopleSmart shows all records it finds in the state provided for a given name, their age, cities they have lived in, and likely family members associated with the person in the address. PQ correlates data from multiple sources. Public Access to Court Electronic Records is a national index for U.S. direct bankruptcy and appeal courts. If the member has been either a plaintiff or a defendant in the United States courts, then this site will show you the details. Examples include incarceration or bankruptcy. This is a very reliable method of finding people because by law, they must provide the courts with accurate contact information. Pacer is also a pay-per-use website, but if your balance is less than $15 at the end of the quarter, then they waive the entire balance. Alternatively, you can go to your county's courthouse to locate county-specific records free of charge. The next one it wants you to use is search engines. There's also the usual search engines, Google, MSN, Yahoo, Ask.com, etc., that can come in handy. They can help you find obituaries, wedding announcements, newspaper articles, and professional associations. It then suggests that you use voter registration records. In many states, you can check voter registration records online. This method tends to be the best way to find members. The intent of this database is to make sure that the state has your correct address and see which precinct you are in and such, but it can be used as a way to confirm that the John Smith born on 14 February 1955 lived at a particular address. When people get a driver's license, they will usually simultaneously register the person to vote, which means that the voter registration records will usually match someone's driver's license. It then gives 2 paragraphs more of details on how to use voter registration records to track someone down. It then suggests using property tax records, criminal records, Utah divorce records, the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend website, and then it gives search tips, some other general notes on finding members. Well-intentioned church leaders may at times discover that a member has moved. In an attempt to find the member, they may add the address and phone number of someone in the same area with the same name. Verify information before you record it. Don't forget to check the member's MLS individual ordinance summary to find the names and birth dates of parents, spouses, and children. If you can locate one of them, they may give you the information you need. You can use this information to find obituaries for parents, which can help you locate the member's city and perhaps their spouse's name. Reverse searches using just the street name without the house number can often show you that you just had the wrong house number or provide you with contact information for relatives or at least former neighbors or new occupants of the house. Calling these people to ask if they know where so-and-so moved to is a lot easier than visiting in person. People might not be as open as they would in person, but it's quick. You can always follow up in person if you need to. When my husband was ward clerk, he was actually asked to do this, and after looking into the process, refused, and he would just send the records back to the church office building where they have some sort of no man's land for records of people that nobody can find. So I can confirm from my husband's firsthand experience that ward clerks are asked to track people down in these ways. I have a younger brother who left the church, and I know whenever he moved, my mom would simply find his address, put it into the meeting house locator on LDS.org, find out who his bishop was, and call and tell the bishop that he was there. Even people who have requested no contact from the church have said that these sorts of things have happened to them. And now let's go to 8newsnow.com for an update on the Las Vegas Lone Mountain Temple. It says a 400-foot thin strip of Las Vegas desert over a drainage line appears to be the next chapter in the debate over a temple for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as it heads to City Hall for a vote again. The Las Vegas Planning Commission will discuss and vote Tuesday on a land use entitlement project request from the LDS Church for an approved temple site at the intersection of North Grand Canyon Drive and West Alexander Road. Representatives for the LDS Church responded first to 8 News Now regarding the agenda item and described it as a normal part of the development process. The item is a land use entitlement request to vacate U.S. government easements south of Hickman Avenue and east of Grand Canyon Drive, submitted in response to a condition imposed by the City of Las Vegas, an LDS Church representative wrote. Such items are common during the land development process and are routinely included with other similar requests during the one motion, one vote portion of the agenda. The LDS Church reiterated in its statement that the Las Vegas City Council already unanimously decided in favor of the temple in July. Plans for the construction of the Lone Mountain Temple were approved unanimously by the Planning Commission on May 14, 2024, and unanimously by the City Council on July 17, an LDS Church representative wrote. The current agenda item does not change any aspect of the approved project. Britton Marsden, a Lone Mountain resident, said he and other members of the community see the vote on the drainage line as a last-minute change which allegedly the LDS Church meant to include in a previous City Council agenda, before it was pointed out in ongoing legal action against the city by residents. During our court filing, we found this federal easement, and we included it for the judicial review packet in the courts, Marsden said during a phone interview, and I am assuming that's how the LDS Church found it, and they're trying to get it withdrawn in the 11th hour. Marsden said the drainage line, otherwise known as an easement, now stands as an obstacle for the temple's approval. It's pretty much going to kill the project if they don't get rid of the easement, he said. The city denied 2 other religious outfits who wanted to build big churches with steeples and were denied. Now the city is picking a church they support, and that is a direct violation of the First Amendment, in my opinion. The Las Vegas Planning Commission meeting is set for 6 p.m. on November 12th at Las Vegas City Hall. On September 17th, lawyers for the LDS Church filed to intervene in ongoing legal action against the City of Las Vegas by the Nevada Rural Preservation Alliance, a recently formed nonprofit group regarding the unanimous City Council vote on the temple. The NRPA argued the City Council and Planning Commission voted erroneously. Lawyers for the LDS Church petitioned to represent their interests, arguing in part they could cite religious civil discrimination. The city could not assert the church's rights under the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons, a civil rights law that protects individuals and religious institutions from discriminatory and unduly burdensome land use regulations, lawyers for the church wrote in their petition for intervention. In response, Evan Schwab, lawyer for the NRPA, said the LDS Church had a lack of standing and further outlined their arguments that the city of Las Vegas allegedly made errors and acted contrary to zoning law. The LDS Church's lawyers argued against the NRPA's reasoning. For 2 months, court documents show lawyers for the NRPA and LDS Church continued to go back and forth debating the reasons surrounding intervention by the church's lawyers. A Las Vegas district court judge has not yet made a decision. And last up today, we will finish with this great quote that says, "Mormonism taught me to love people despite who they are. Leaving Mormonism taught me to love people for who they are." To which someone responded, "It's a shame that a lot of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will read this as apostates loving people's sins." And that's your update for today, folks. I absolutely hope that the church is not trying to hunt you down if you don't want them to, and that you have the day that you deserve.